In the state of Florida, they are banning AP courses, even though racism was alive and well in here. There were still signs for black and white water fountains left over from Jim Crow in the 1970s that I saw when I was a small child. I could read at 5, so I asked, I'm like, black, white? And my parents' response was completely accurate. People are dumb, honey. We can't fix that. They were right. Thank God. Okay. The year before, in 1976, while walking through the village, we turned a corner. My mom and I was holding her hand. She had my sister on her back like a little papoose because gotta have a hand free, one hand for me. Small child on her back. We turn a corner, and there were two men kissing. They were long-haired, hippie-looking guys. That's all I remember. I was 6. And I said, why were the men kissing to my mom? Children do. We ask questions. You don't know. And my mom said they loved each other. And as a parent, and as someone who taught for 25 years, to think that she pulled that crap out of her ass on a windy day in the middle of the village with a kid on her back and one in her hand makes me so much more impressed with my mom. We have a diverse population. And in my entire lifetime, if you consider what happened with the gay movement in New York City and in, the first getting together of people saying, hey, it's enough of us being in the closet, started in the 1970s. That's the first gay pride parade in New York City. I'm 52, it's not that long. And to think that in the history of the world that no one's been gay or somewhere along the rainbow is not thinking at all. How many of the movies that Bob Hope did, or Ronald Reagan where he's drag, or Robin Williams in Miss Doubtfire, and no one says boo. Now all of a sudden it's a problem because the ignorant have been told to hate someone who's different from them. And they're being told to do so by people who wear collars and pretend that they are following the words of God. We need to separate religion and government. There is no litmus test for someone's religious ability or their faith in our society because we have a First Amendment that is supposed to separate church and state. Madison and Jefferson, who were integral in writing our Constitution, not only did they look at people like Hobbes and Locke and Rousseau to get inspiration, but they understood history. There were 11 major crusades in the 11th and 12th century. The Spanish Inquisition killed how many people? 30 Years' War, 100 Years' War. How many people died in the name of religion? And then conflicts between, people over God. India and Pakistan. It's perpetual. We need to keep it out. And these people that have a specific agenda because someone who's misinterpreting a book that's been written over 2,000 times, 2,000 years ago, are making up shit as they go along. They didn't have a problem with Miss Doubtfire. They didn't. How about, how many different movies that you had in the 40s and 50s, and my God, it's in Bridge on the River Kwai. The men dress up and sing to celebrate the bridge being almost done before it's blown up. They don't know it's going to be blown up, but they're singing and dancing. They're in drag. Why was that socially acceptable and this stuff is now? The critical thinking skills that are missing for so much of our population is the reason why they still believe an old New York Democrat that he's a Republican. Donald Trump has been a Democrat for all my life. He's still probably a Democrat now. He's just doing what he can to win because he's an opportunist and he is an un-American traitor.